Sonoma County's morning news on 1350 and FM 103.5 KSRO.
It's 7:19 at KSRO. Yet another billionaire will be working for Donald Trump, at least inside of the White House. And that person is the pick for Secretary of Education. That's Betsy DeVos. At least she will be. She will have to be certified, of course, by the Senate. She'll have to be okayed by them. But we want to find out about Betsy DeVos, why she's a good or bad idea for Secretary of Education. David Kim is here to help us out in that regard. David is the founder of C2 Education. Good morning to you, David.
Good morning, Pat.
Pleasure to have you here with us this morning. Is there anything wrong with having a billionaire Secretary of Education? Just curious.
I don't think there's anything wrong with someone having been very successful in business. Obviously her family has been, but I think more important is having strong expertise in the area that you plan to lead, whether it's Department of Education, that HUD, or any of the kind of cabinet offices that are going to be filled by the president-elect.
Her big policy is that she wants the federal government out of education, if I have that right.
Yep.
That's correct. I mean, one of her big pushes, obviously, is on vouchers and school choice, which, in my opinion, is an oversimplistic way of kind of tackling the issue of education. I think, first and foremost, it's critical that we, lay out, what our vision is and what we're trying to solve. I mean, education is a very complicated topic, for society. I mean, are we trying to alleviate poverty? Are we trying to get people better ready for white-collar type of jobs kind of in the technological age? Are we, trying to compete, with the world in math and reading scores, which, we bemoan about every 3 years, once kind of the world testing scores come out, during those periods. And so, it's what are we really trying to solve for? And then, let's try to create solutions that are solving for those things, as opposed to throwing a bunch of spaghetti on the wall and see if it sticks, or say, hey, let's just dismantle something that just doesn't seem to be, kind of in vogue with a lot of people, at the moment.
Yeah, that's been tried year after year after year and not very successfully. What do you think, David, could happen to public schools in specific if she's confirmed?
Well, I mean, the great thing about, I think, public school education in this country, a lot of it is determined by, states and local municipalities. And so, a lot of those decisions are done at a very, very local level. In the amount that the federal government contributes, to, public education, anywhere from 8 to 10%. Obviously, that is, of significance, but, it's not, something that'll be, at the end of the day, catastrophic. The things that she can really affect, obviously, are going to be, the Title I funds, which are really geared toward, poor families. There's around $15 billion there that could be reallocated, into a school choice program, toward private schools, which would impact, obviously, some of the budgeting, at, kind of the more underperforming public schools today. And the other big thing is obviously if they cut the budget, it impacts, kind of schooling for Native American lands as well as military bases, which rely entirely on, federal funding for their schools, right? So it'd be a shame to kind of hurt military families, kids, if we were to kind of further cut back, the budget on the Department of Education. The last thing that's probably the big thing that could be affected is kind of how we treat some kind of social issues, cultural issues, whether it's, kids who've come here with parents, perhaps, illegally, and some of the issues on kind of the transgender as well as, kind of sexual assaults that do occur, on campuses, whether on college or at the K-12 level.
Just as a point of information, if that DeVos name sounds familiar, it's because her father-in-law, Richard DeVos, is the founder of Amway. Does it matter?
I didn't know that. I didn't know that. Wow.
I don't know how I feel about this, but she will be the first education secretary without a substantial background in higher education. How do you see that, good or bad?
Yeah, so, like I said, I think, the issue of education is very complex, and so, having, deeper, experience and knowledge on, kind of the complexity of the issue is pretty important. There isn't a silver bullet that can, fix all the education ills that are out there. There's issues on, pedagogy, on how do we train teachers, how do we get more teachers. I know Sonoma County has made a huge effort on trying to recruit more and better teachers for the public schools. So there's a lot of issues that need to be tackled. Even on the issue of school choice, I mean, there's some parents and families that can't get to some of the schools that are out there because of transportation issues, or they're working 2 or 3 jobs and they're not making a living wage. And so, it's very complex in terms of, how do we, have the right, solutions, based on kind of that area's needs and be able to support those kind of at a federal level.
Well, but just, to push back, though, she has no public school background, and her children didn't attend public school, so she really has no expertise in that arena whatsoever.
But she is a descendant of Amway. Just saying.
Yes. And her brother-in-law, her brother is also the founder of Blackwater, and that's another tidbit that you'd be interested in. So.
Yeah, that would be interesting. Well, David, as you know, the umbrella of education really covers so many things, so many issues. Thank you for helping us sort out some of them this morning. We sure appreciate it.
No problem, Pat.
That's David Kim, the founder of C2 Education. Thanks for joining us on the KSRO Live Line. It's 7:26 now at KSRO.